Okay, we're back on the SportsMax zone. So earlier today at the Toyota showroom on Old Hope Road in Kingston, a big cycling launch was made. The three-day stage race will be held between the 1st and 3rd of April, and will be streamed live via the SportsMax app. Now, the event aspires to create an iconic Caribbean cycling competition of international acclaim. The Cycling Classic is the brainchild of president and founder of the Simmons High Velocity Cycling Club, Carlton Simmons. Simmons told the launch audience that he intends to build a competition that will earn ratification from the sports governing body, the International Cycling Union. Before him, Digicel's brand marketing manager, Reshi McKelly Williams, spoke about the reason for getting involved in the event.
Sports development and national development is important to us, and as you say, it's our first time being in cycling, but we've always supported sports in general, cricket, track and field, so it's important for us to continue to do things like this. Also, cycling has grown in the last year or 2 years, primarily because of what we've been experiencing with the pandemic, and it's just a way to encourage persons to just maintain great lifestyle, and with Digicel on board, we're obviously encouraging you to continue to do that, because things like these, as our tagline says, it's better together.
April 1 to 3, what you will see is a group of about 150 cyclists embarking on some exciting races over the 3 days. So all in all, the youngsters here will be getting some great racing and some good competition. And what we have done also, we have brought in the president for the Caribbean Cycling, and we're looking to get the president for the Copasa region, which is the Central American and Caribbean region, to come to see the event. Because in a nutshell, what that will do is have those guys have a first-hand look at the product and the production of the event, so that when we make the application later this year for it to be ranked by the UCI, it will be seamless.
Yeah, Carlton Simmons there, and George and Mariah. It's going to be a big event, the opening days of April, and cycling has some history of popularity right throughout the Caribbean, and Carlton Simmons wants to ensure that as his sport, which he dearly loves, he was a former competitor for Jamaica, he wants to see the sport rise to higher levels than it currently holds in the Caribbean and on the Jamaica landscape. And great that he has SportsMax partnering with the project and ensuring that from a media standpoint and from a coverage standpoint, they will get maximum benefits with the partnership with SportsMax.
Well, what I do know is they will get maximum benefits, because we plan to, of course, we'll discuss it on the zone, we'll broadcast it as much as we can, and then our SportsMax app, we also tend to do a lot of clips and cut it on social media. And why not partner with us? Because, of course, we're the leading broadcaster in the Caribbean, which is why I joined in the first place. And I just think that, it's great because, I also, in conversation with other cyclists, they feel as if Lance and George, they don't get the coverage that they deserve. They don't get the support that they deserve. So it actually warms my heart to see, cycling getting this sort of coverage, getting the attention that it deserves. And I hope that, it can inspire other youngsters to get involved in cycling.
Trinidad and Tobago, no doubt, outside of track events, world class, well, of course, field, they're an Olympic champion in the javelin, but they are without doubt world class in cycling, and Jamaica boasts a bronze medal at the Olympics in cycling. Nobody else from this part of the world can make that claim. And so that's just evidence of how important cycling has been in the Caribbean. So more than being platitudinous about what cycling can do, anybody can say, oh yes, we can do cycling for hopeful of this and that. Fact is, there is a record of cycling bringing glory to the Caribbean, and of cycling, Caribbean nations being world class in cycling and being one of the top nations in the Olympics. Just ask the rest of the world about Trinidad and Tobago in the sprint events. Yeah. So yes, cycling gets life breathed into it, and cycling, I keep telling people about those times when I was a lad, when I would every Sunday listen to the big races on the radio, Peter Aldridge and company, Roland Powerfoot Moore, and all the other outstanding cyclists cyclists who dominated the headlines as cyclists in my childhood, and then when they went to the velodrome for cycling again. So it is very good to see something, a big event, that can have a drag effect on the rest of competition in cycling. Put it in the big times, put it in the lights, put it on HD TV or UHD TV, and then the rest will follow. As a classic line said in Field of Dreams, if we build it, they will come. If you make cycling cool again and put it in the big times, then the grassroots, it will pick up and will be to the benefit of the sport.
Yeah, well, we're sticking with cycling. Barbados' top male rider, Joshua Kelly, has written his name into the history books as the first Barbadian man to sign a road racing professional contract. Kelly has inked a deal with the USA-based team Miami Blazers. Kelly is an 8-time national road race champion. He is a gold medalist at the Caribbean elite level and a silver medal winner at the Caribbean Junior Cycling Championship. He joins us now. Josh, welcome to the SportsMax Zone. Great to have you on the show for the first time. Congratulations on the pro contract that you've just signed. Can you talk to us about it and how you came by this contract?
Well, firstly, thank you for having me on the show. It's truly an honor. Well, this cycling contract came at the end of a lot of hard work, as every other good, story in sport. Last year was, I think, my breaking point where I got my foot into the door, and actually, some of the guys that I beat in the Caribbean Championships, they're the owners of my current team right now. So that's how the contact was made.
Yeah, talk to us about how your training and your development will go from here on in. Will you be mostly based in Florida, since that's where the club is? And how much time will you be spending in the Caribbean?
Yes, well, actually, I'm going to be based in California. Just because the terrain is a lot better, there's good weather. So that would be my base. But I definitely intend to be competing in all of my regional championships, the Caribbean Championships, the Pan American Championships, because I really want to still let my presence be known in that region also. Yeah,
you're 26 years old now, Josh, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Do you consider yourself at a prime age to be where you're at the moment, as far as your scope for further success is concerned?
Yes, most definitely. I feel like I'm still in a stage where I can definitely learn a lot and make a lot of progress, but I feel like, I'm not behind in terms of the level of the competition.
Yeah, just before we joined you in this segment, Josh, we had the launch of a big cycling classic to be staged in Jamaica in early April. Is that an event that you would be interested in, and have you been invited for it?
Yes, I definitely was invited for it. I do have some races with my team that are clashing. We're currently going through some logistics on it to see if I could possibly send, another side of my local team back home with some really good riders.
Yes, speaking about the clashes, tell us a bit about what you're working on now, just some of your short-term plans and maybe your long-term. Olympics in the plans?
Yes, most definitely. Well, I just arrived at a team hotel about an hour ago. We start our first pro race here in the U.S., here in San Dimas. So I really want to, help the team in any way possible to get on the radar here in the U.S. But most definitely, I would love to make it to the Olympics. That's the long-term goal.
Yeah, can you share with us a bit about the cycling program in Barbados and how it has prepared you for this stage that you are at right now?
Well, the cycling in Barbados, it's definitely had some steady growth. I started cycling about 10 years ago, and it was actually on the track. I used to, have track racing every Wednesday, and that kind of slowly got me into the sport. From there, I started to do a bit more road events because, there was more opportunity there at the time. But I would say then the infrastructure in Barbados is growing slowly, and I think that we're on a good path.
Yeah, you know, before we came to you in our little discussion on this, that I was making the point that, you know, I found that a lot of cyclists have this story where they say they don't feel like they get the amount of attention that they deserve. Do you have the same feeling? Do you feel as if more can be done for cyclists?
Yes, most definitely. I mean, to be honest, before, you know, these past couple of weeks, I haven't had much media attention because I feel like cycling has been looked over a bit. So there's definitely some room for improvement with the media. But I mean, interviews like this and just showcasing the talent that we have in our region is a big step, because I feel like we have a lot of hidden talent, especially in cycling. Like we deserve to be on the world stage. So if we can showcase that in any way, I think that would definitely be a plus.
Yeah, Josh, can you explain a little bit more to us about the statement you made just now in the early part of your career, that there were more opportunities to become a road racer as opposed to the track? Because you did say you started out on the track, and I know as far as Barbados is concerned, there was Barry Ford, who was a track rider, a multiple world championship medalist, a Pan Am Games gold medalist as well, and he was pretty much track. But I also know that he had spent most of his time overseas training. Is it that from a facilities standpoint, as a cyclist, road racing is better facilitated in Barbados?
Only as of recent, we don't have a functional track facility, but I just meant in terms of having a sustainable career where you can make a profitable living and a comfortable living from it. Road cycling has, you know, teams of 9 guys. So whereas track cycling is more self-supported or supported from your Olympic committee or something like that. Whereas in road cycling, you can be on an independent team where they would be dealing with your salary and your equipment and whatnot. And honestly, the reason I switched over to road was the first year I did my first international road event, I won a medal for Barbados. So I felt like that was definitely where my potential lied. But we do have a lot of potential on the track too. Yeah,
you can't hide from the fact, though, that from a facilities standpoint, there isn't a proper track circuit in Barbados at the moment, because the old concrete surface that you have at the National Stadium isn't used anymore in international cycling. I know next door in Trinidad and Tobago they have a state-of-the-art track cycling velodrome, which is reported to be one of the best in the entire Western Hemisphere. Any comments about investing in cycling? Yes, you are into the road racing program, which is good, but what of cyclists who want to be track riders and the lack of facilities for them to develop from a Caribbean standpoint? Because, as I said, Trinidad and Tobago is the only country at the moment in CARICOM that has a proper velodrome.
Yes, well, I actually had a call with the Minister of Sport in Barbados, and he assured me that there's plans in place to be building, they're planning to build a new velodrome and a full facility for cycling. So that is definitely in the pipeline, and it would be materialized in the very near future. And I would definitely do all that I can to support that program.
Yeah. Okay, well, Josh, certainly great talking to you. Congratulations again on the contract that you have signed. And I suspect that you are targeting France 2024 for the Olympic Games. And we certainly hope that you can develop quickly enough to qualify for that event.
Okay, yes, most definitely. That's on my list of goals. And once again, I really appreciate you having me here. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. Josh Kelly, who just recently signed a professional contract with the Miami Blazers cycling road racing team in the United States. George and Mariah, great to see a Caribbean rider making these strides, and very ambitious because he wants to make the Olympic team for France 2024. and in discussion with the Minister of Sport in Barbados, who we spoke with on the show this week, Charles Griffith, hoping that he can get some pledges from the government standpoint to invest and assist with his goals and objectives.
Most definitely. Happy for him, happy for the people of Barbados and just the youngsters looking on, because, you know, they also can feel one with him and feel motivated so that they too can get involved.
Yeah. George has some hot news just before we go to the break.
News. Yes, Italy have missed out on the FIFA World Cup finals for a second consecutive time. Italy have only missed the World Cup in 1930, the first one they didn't enter. They failed to qualify for the 1958 edition, and they failed to qualify for 2018 and have failed to qualify for 2022 as well. It's massive news. Italy are a 4-time world champion. They are the reigning European champions, and they're missing out on FIFA World Cup qualification. It's massive news anywhere. It's massive news here, and that's why we're giving that breaking news to you. I can give you some detail. In the game against North Macedonia that they lost in Italy, Italy outshot North Macedonia 32-4. They took 32 shots. North Macedonia took 4 shots, 8 times less. And North Macedonia scored one of those shots in the 92nd minute to send Italy tumbling out of the World Cup. There's also news to tell you about some World Cup final playoffs in Africa. And it is that Egypt and Senegal, a repeat of the Africa Cup of Nations final won by Sadio Mane's Senegal over Mo Salah's Egypt. That match is on this week as well, Egypt versus Senegal. So one of the two will go through to the World Cup. Ghana will play Nigeria, then Cameroon will play Algeria, Congo play Morocco, and Mali will oppose Tunisia. Those are the matchups. First legs on Friday, second legs on Tuesday for places at the FIFA World Cup. So it's all happening right now where the World Cup is concerned. Ronaldo and Portugal, they beat Turkey 3-1 to progress to the playoff final, where they will play, I think, either Wales or Scotland for a place in, well, Scotland or the Ukraine for a place in the World Cup final. So it's all happening, so we had to tell you it right now.
Keep watching SportsMax on YouTube for live and exciting sports. Subscribe to SportsMax on cable and download the SportsMax app to watch anytime, anywhere.